All right, hey guys. So, been a while since I made a video. I thought I'd make one right now. The reason I haven't made a video is because haven't really wanted to share anything. Haven't been getting better. The moment I start turning the corner, I'll definitely be sharing things with you. But there have been people that have been asking me, or not a lot, but it's been probably 4 or 5 months since I've made a video. So yeah, I've been getting worse. Energy, fatigue, brain function, vision, dementia symptoms, skin issues, slurring speech. I mean, everything. Body pain, joint pain, not sleeping because of digestive pain, brain just not turning off. Everything. I recently moved though, thinking that was going to help. I moved about 3 weeks ago as of this video to a drier climate. So I left the place where I was in for I was living there from maybe August of 2014 to about 3 months ago. So about 3 weeks ago. So about what is that? Four and a half, wait, five, I can't do the math. That's part of my problem. August of 2014. So almost 5 years, 4.5 years, I think. No, 5. I can't. So, okay, now you're seeing it in real time. I can't do basic math anymore. Yeah, that happens all the time. I will just forget everything that I'm doing. Forget exactly where I am, what's going on. Be very confused. Forget. And it used to happen once in a while. Now it happens multiple times a day, almost like all the time, or I'm just kind of hoping I'm saying the right thing and I'm hoping that I'm being coherent, but I have no idea if I am anymore. All sorts of issues. So anyway, I moved a few weeks ago, hoping that this new house, drier climate would be helpful because, there's so much talk about mold and mycotoxins, and we had a couple people come to our last place. Didn't find any issues with the place, but I suspected there could have been some issues that they didn't. But nothing confirmed though. But anyway, I was living in a place, right, for about 4.5 years or so. Over the last few years, my let me close the door. So I'm living with my mom. I still really don't drive anymore. Getting out, I'm not really I can't really do much on my own. A lot of days I kind of hang out in bed most of the day. So, so anyway, we moved. What was I saying? We moved. I forgot what I was saying. This happens all the time. My brain just goes like completely blurry, and my eyes just kind of glaze over, and then I go kind of cross-eyed, and everything gets really foggy. Like I have no clarity. All right, and it's getting worse. And honestly, you can't tell in my voice, but it's insanely terrifying. And I've said this for years now, and it still continues to be terrifying because it keeps getting worse. So, yeah. Oh, right, mycotoxins. So I moved. I was saying. So my mom has been in that house for a while too. My dad passed away. He died he died about 2 years ago with a very, very quick progression of ALS. And, that was less than a year and a half. He went from no symptoms to not here anymore. And he lived in that house too, or in that condo. So just me putting things together of like, all right, somebody, my mom's been having some slight cognitive decline as well, and she used to be super sharp. I continue to decline. That's not where I first started getting my symptoms. I started getting symptoms maybe a year and a half prior to moving into that place. I was in a condo that I was living in for 6 years previously, brand new condo, and I was perfect. So when everyone's like, oh, what was the first exposure? Nothing happened. Like, and trust me, I've been quizzed and grilled by many, practitioners, shamans and healers and psychics, and nothing, traumatic happened as to why I got, why things started, other than I had H. pylori and I did some antibiotics. So, I mean, maybe that was enough to just throw things off. I don't know. But that's it. Anyway, so we decided to move because for those reasons. So my mom's been declining a little bit. I've obviously been declining a ton since I've been there. And then my dad went from no symptoms to not here anymore in a very short period of time, with a very obviously serious neurological diagnosis. So I moved here, and sorry, I'm not. This could be an hour video because I have trouble being concise and staying on topic and being clear. All right, so I haven't. I was really hoping I would feel better when I came here. I didn't take any belongings. I did as best I could. Again, there wasn't any there wasn't any mold in the wall. There was no leaking, but I just wanted to pretend like there was and not take anything from that previous house, and I did. I've been getting worse since I've been here. And moving here was really what was keeping my hopes and spirits up for the last maybe few months, because I knew that all right, I'm going to go into a new environment. So I moved from Southern California to, outside of Phoenix. So hot and dry, no humidity, which again, if you're involved in any of these groups on Facebook, you know that some people are like, oh my God, Phoenix is the worst. But it's here's the deal. On all these groups, you're going to find somebody saying, oh my God, I got sick here. Oh my God, there's mold everywhere. So at some point you're just fuck, shut up, everyone. You're so not helpful. The Northwest is the worst. The Northeast is the worst. Oh, even in dry climates can be really horrible because of the new building, and homes can be really bad. And then it's dude, I don't know, maybe some of you guys will understand this if you're on these forums and Facebook groups. You just go paranoid, and I have. And, I'm in a new construction. Literally, we're the first people in here. And so the chance of there being issues in terms of massive mold growth, pretty damn low. I do need to check the EMFs here. We are in a residential neighborhood, so that could not be helping things. It is new, so there is I'm sitting on new carpet, and obviously there's linoleum, vinyl and VOCs and all that shit. But anyway, who knows? I don't know. You can't do it. You can't do it fucking perfectly. And I know a lot of you guys are you realize that. It's all right, perfect maybe would be all right, if you think it's your environment, get an RV, go out in the middle of nowhere, stay there for 2 weeks. If that doesn't make you feel better, go somewhere else. And it's but you have to be at a level of health to do that. And I unfortunately am not at the level of health to drive, let alone tow an RV, let alone have the money to afford to buy a truck. And so it's that's out of the question. So, sorry, I feel really sick right now. Just trying to get this video out to you guys. So here I am. It's been 3 weeks. I've been feeling significantly worse since I've been here. And, we bought a house. We bought a house. So it's a lot of stress and content. It sucks. We don't see any issues with the house. It's not it's oh, there's a water leak, and no, but for whatever reason, maybe it's just the heat is depleting me, or maybe I'm super reactive to all the paint. I don't know. Or maybe I don't have MCS, or I don't believe I have all these crazy chemical sensitivities. Most people who I talk to who have those, if they get a whiff of a bad scent, or if they smell the wall, they'll have an immediate spike in symptoms, right? I don't have that. I never have. Thank God. If I get a whiff of Palmolive or Tide soap, it smells horrible, and I get like a minor headache. But it's not like all of a sudden I go from like feeling okay to crash. I don't have that type of sensitivity, so I don't think it's the VOCs that are like making me worse. It doesn't really make sense. So at right now, I mean, man, I already listed some of my symptoms. Those guys have been following me for a while. You guys have heard me for a while, but really bad GI, really bad gut. Comes and goes in waves. I can have, a few days where it's not really a big issue, and then a few months where it's basically 24/7. It's really random. Everything is really random. A lot of weakness and fatigue. That has gotten a lot worse since being here and over the last few months since I made a video. Really, 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 really tired. And that's really scary. Cognitive abilities, and even doing like that kind of stuff, like speaking, like articulating well, is really, really hard. I get a little slur in my speech. Sometimes I get like little spit build up on the side of my mouth. Like that's just like GI stuff right there. I just had like, I get like bloated and burps all day. A lot of joint pain, a lot of muscle feels like it's kind of deteriorating. It has been for years. I'm in pain right now. I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything in weeks. Can't stretch anymore. My hamstrings feel like they're ripped. It's the most weird feeling. I can't like stretch. I used to be a yoga teacher. I used to stretch all day. I used to be in the most amazing shape ever. I can't move anymore. I can't really move anymore. It hurts. Feels like I'm like ripping my muscles. My shoulder and neck pain 24/7. Haven't worked out in maybe I've worked out once in the last 6 months. So that's been tough. But just from like an ego perspective of seeing your body kind of like crumble, but whatever. I'm sure I'm missing a million other things too. Yeah, the vision is blurry. It's like my brain just does not focus. My eyes are fine. I've had my eyes checked out a few times by an ophthalmologist, but it's my brain. So right now, I have no idea what the fuck to do. Because what do I redo every single test that I've ever done? So some of my tests from last year and the years prior aren't perfect. But it's hard to know that, if you have a test result that isn't perfect, if that's the reason that you're feeling this way, So I've pissed out some, in the P tests, some mycotoxins and mold. They're not zero, but I don't think anybody's zero. And I've never had a known exposure. So anyway, so I have that. So I've been restarting cholestyramine. The whole Neil Nathan has a protocol for mold, and based on which mold spores that you've excreted. So through like the two companies are I have really bad stomachache, guys. Sorry, like Real Time Labs and Great Plains. Yeah, Great Plains. Let me put this here so I can. So I do have some mold that I've excreted in my urine. Cool, that's one thing. It's been a really long time since I've done a metals test, which are, and the last one I did was provoked. This was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, which apparently you're never supposed to do, where you take, DMPS or EDTA and you do it in an IV. I did that. Apparently that's like suicide because you can really, really hurt yourself. Mercury was a little high. Last year I tried taking, is it DMSA? Yeah, DMSA pills. I got it at a compounding pharmacy. I stopped because I didn't know if that was making me really sick. I got really sick. I got really, really sick. Like I had a flu for a few weeks back in like October. It was right around the time that I took that, DMSA. And also I started taking Alinea for parasites. Not that I've never tested positive for parasites. I've done, but apparently you really rarely test positive for parasites, even with the best testing. But I started taking those two things last year, and those really fucked me up. I think those were the cause of why I got really sick, and I haven't touched them since. I haven't touched them in like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months even. But from everything I read, it's like if you really aggressively try to treat something, and your body's not ready for it, it can almost like permanently damage you. And one thing I've been reading about is even parasites. Like someone was saying I think it was Brian Rosner of the mold. He wrote like Lyme Supercharged. He was saying that parasites somehow like parasites are cloaked in mold and metals, and how if you attack parasites, it can massively dump metals. All stuff like that. And so it's like I have a lot of issues. The first is I still don't know quite what's wrong with me. My Lyme and co-infections, last time I did it through MDL, I think was the name of the company. It was like $300-400. That was, I didn't have anything. Nothing popped up positive there. At least that's what the doctor said. Some of the bands were, I don't want to get into the bands. So I don't think I don't really have the symptoms of a lot of mold and mycotoxins. Like I don't have flares. I've just been getting continually worse over the last few years. And it starts very slowly. So one of the doctors I talked to was like, no, you don't really have symptoms of Lyme or co-infections or Lyme disease, and I've never really related with people in the groups sharing their feelings. Like I have a lot of the same symptoms for sure. But just how they manifest, I don't really think that's my issue. Those are my issues. For one, I used to do a lot of ozone. I used to do ozone a few times a week. I did a lot of the 10-pass ozones. I did those like in 2016, so 4 years ago. I did like 8 10-pass ozones. That was a solid like $5,000 of my dad's money that did nothing. I didn't feel better. I didn't feel worse. And that's been part of my history and struggle is I don't feel better and I don't feel worse. I don't feel an improvement. I don't feel like I am herxing, other than when I took the Alinea and the DMSA or I always get them confused. DMSA, I think. I did that for a few days and that potentially could have been too much for my system, whether that was killing things too fast or whether it was just toxic. It's hard to know. I heard Alinea is kind of bad for you, but a lot of doctors say that it's really gentle. It's very confusing. Other than that, I haven't really had like what I think could have been like a reaction to something. Like I can guzzle cilantro, guzzle cemento, doesn't do shit. Or it didn't do shit maybe 2-3 years ago. Now I'm a lot more sensitive, but it's hard to know. So getting worse every day is very scary. I still don't know what I'm dealing with or what to do. So as of right now, I don't really have a solution. I don't want to spend money again. I'm tired of wasting money. I don't have it anymore. Just to be straight up, my dad, when he was alive, he, paid for most of this stuff, and he's no longer alive and working, obviously. So I can't afford just to, I'm going to go do a clinic for $10,000. And I can't do that shit anymore. And that stuff never worked for me anyways. So not quite sure. Not quite sure if it's the location I moved in. Some people are like, the Phoenix area, tons of, I don't know if you've been in these practical mold avoidance groups, but it's like, mystery toxin. It's all the pharmacy. It's all like the Monsanto sprayed, and they're like some areas have horrible air, and like you can't get well, and they have, all these toxins. It's like, they say that a lot of it with like San Diego or Tucson, Arizona, supposedly is like horrible. Mystery toxin, they call it. I don't know. Maybe I just moved to a really bad place. Maybe this place's air is bad. It's keeping me sick. Maybe environmental molds were never my problem. So maybe that just is not what's keeping me sick, even though I did test positive on the testing. I peed out some mycotoxins, and I have a lot of other symptoms for that. I have a lot of the vision, the cognitive, But the problem is that mold symptoms, parasite symptoms, mercury and heavy metal symptoms are all the fucking same. Which and those of you who've been trying to get well for a while, you completely know what I'm saying. It's like they're all the same. And I've never had any feedback from treatments where it's like, oh, when I do this treatment, I get this symptom, and this is a clear mold, or this is a clear metal detox. So I'm just like, I don't know. I do have a telemedicine appointment with a doctor who I've seen this week. So I will see what she thinks. But man, like besides just like, all right, let's plop down another $3,000 and retest everything again, start from scratch, start from zero. Like, I don't know what else to do right now. It's like my body is just like falling apart. Like right now I'm in like really bad GI pain. Like, oh, fuck. But, and I've explained this to people, like I'm so tired that, I don't know if you guys can relate. I know this video is super long. Like having I don't have the electrical current in my body anymore. And I don't know if some of you guys can probably understand, or girls, especially if you've done a lot of like meditation in the past, or you used to be very like somatic, like kind of connected to your body. I don't feel, and I haven't, this was one of my first symptoms like 7 years ago. I was like, I don't feel as connected to my body. Like it feels like energetically, I'm not like in my body as much. I'm not present. I'm not like connected. And that may sound like stupid, but it's such a real feeling for me because I used to feel so alive, like electrically alive, like just like tuned on, tuned in, turned on, you could even say. Just like turned on. Feel very turned off. I feel like and that manifests as everything, like cognitively, like not being able to understand people, not being able to, having really bad balance, falling over, having horrible proprioception, all that kind of stuff, all of it, all those symptoms, random muscle cramps, muscle pains, just random shit, just all sorts of symptoms. I mean, it's too much. And a lot of you guys probably watching this like, no, it's like, yeah, I could list 80 symptoms, if you want to get really specific with things. Alrighty guys, so I'll end the video there. Thanks for watching if you're watching. And I'm always open to thoughts, but if it's expensive, I'm not going to do it. And the thought of like beginning another protocol, start a protocol, like start this herb, it's like fucking A, like if you've been on this path for a while and you're still getting worse, like you have like PTSD when it comes to getting suggestions. When it's like, buy this machine, buy this, talk to this person will fix you. Buy this set of herbs, it's like you're just like, all right, buy it for me. Like, I'll take it. I just don't want to like waste money anymore. And sorry if that's negative, but man, that's how it feels. Like I just don't really fucking want to do it anymore. And it sucks. It's very scary. So all right. Maybe I'll start making more videos. Sorry, that was really gross. I was picking my toenail and it stinks. I don't want to be making videos of just like me like complaining, you know what I mean? But I also don't really have the energy to like organize my thoughts, put it into topics, make it into something helpful and instructional, something that you could share with your friends, something that you could like, like an actual YouTube station where it's like symptoms of, it's like, I don't really have the energy to like do that right now. So this is all I can do is just like rant for 25 minutes. All right, I'll end the video there. Thanks for watching. Bye.